All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Before I do, come over to ztrades.net. Check out the terms and conditions page. If you don't agree with our terms and conditions and our disclaimer, don't watch this video. Don't join the Discord. If you do agree to it, feel free to watch this video and you can join us right here. I just woke up, guys, so I am halfway here, but let's jump into it. I do better after I've just woken up versus went to bed or needing to go to bed. Last week's watch list, that's what I want to talk about here. Everything hit, all three hit. And I want to talk about what I'm looking at coming up into the next week here. So let's take a look at that. First off, let's look at, I did this about 2 weeks ago. Was it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, right on 2 weeks ago. I did the IHS. It worked out. Is it going to go up that high? No, I think I overdid it there. We're going to correct this. We're going to make it like this. Whoops. Let's go ahead and do some charting. Okay, and I don't think it's going to be drawn out that much. I think it's going to be right over into here. It could even sink below that, in my opinion. Option number 1, that happens in scenario 1. Good Lord. That's not happening right now. Okay. Or option number 2 is we plunge right through that down to where the EMA would be. And then from there, bounce back up. Who knows what will happen in October. We could bounce right back up out of that. You know, then come back down and bounce back up again. I don't know. I don't know what the scenario is going to be. I have to judge it next week. So, I do believe we're going to come back down. We could possibly bounce. We're at what, 571? We could come down to 566. That's totally possible. Why do I say that? Why do I think that that's going to happen? I want to go over SPY and my outlook here, and then for next week, and then I want to go over our watch list from last Sunday and how everything played out. What do you guys see here? You don't even need to know the name of it, nothing. You can just look at the fact. It's like common sense. The bodies are getting smaller, right? The bodies are getting smaller, just like here, right? It's common sense. Buyers are getting weaker. If they weren't, then the bodies would be getting bigger, wouldn't they? Right? Or at least closing with no wicks. Look how wicky that is. That's pretty much a neutral candle, just about. It's almost a neutral candle. That's a buyer's candle. That's a buyer's candle that was strong, but sellers took over. Overall, buyers won. That buyers are slightly taking over there. Come on, there's a Jewish holiday. We got a Jewish holiday on Thursday. Those of you that don't know about Jewish holidays, research it. We're usually bared during Jewish holidays. There's a book on it, and I think it was written in 1978. But my theory is a lot of the hedge funds, right, New York, all that, money managers that are managing people's money when it comes to short-term stuff, possibly exit for the holiday. And then other people sell because they know that they're going to be exiting, and then, you know, it unfolds. We got another weakening. That was a strong candle. This was getting smaller, right? And we peeled over. Same thing over here. We could go down for 2 weeks, maybe even 3. My guess it would be, you know, maybe just next week, maybe. But Jewish holiday, we got a weakening Willie. 1, 2, 3 reversal. Each body's getting smaller. Come on, guys. So let's jump back over here. Whoops. Let's jump back over here. I wanted to talk about everything that went. Everything we called. First off was Coinbase. We called Coinbase right over here. Coinbase went from 166 to 192. We called that on the watch list on the last video. That was a win. We called, what else did I call? DJT. That looks like nothing right there. Let's go to a 2-hour session. You know what? We'll look at this on TOS here in a moment. I also called MU. and then I freaking forgot about it. Look, I even have it charted. So let's see, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So I had called it Sunday right here at 90. Okay, and it saw 114. That is a whopping move. That's like a 20% move, 18% move. I literally forgot because I was just so much else was going on. Let me go ahead and elongate that. That's not going to do anything at all. Let's do this here. All right, that's kind of some crappy TA there. Whatever. I don't have the time right now, but I had called it last week. Each candle's a weekly. Right there, that one did it, and I had called Trump Media. All right. Called Trump Media. Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. I should have been in right there or right there. I got in, where was it? Right there on this dip. I bought calls. I followed the UOA. I should have formulated my own. The thing is, they were also sauced because the contracts know DJT is going to be volatile and is probably going to rip up. And that's exactly what happened. We did rip up. But I did get in. That's not bad over in here. And when it was in the 12s and it saw 15, I could even bought equity and done well. I'm in the 19s for 11.15. We have elections and the share lockup's over. And I expect buyers to come in for the run-up for elections. So I was right on that one. I'm still in. I've turned half of them into debit spreads. The other half I'm going to let run naked to eliminate risk and lock in some gain. Now, what do I have on my watch list for next week? So, SPY to the downside. Okay. What else? First off, let's say we do go bullish. You can tell right here, this is either forming an inverted head and shoulders or it's a complete inverted head and shoulders. Left shoulder head, is this a right shoulder? Does that little dip count as the shoulder, right? A lot of times I draw these out and then it hasn't dipped. Maybe it was. Maybe it's so strong that it's going to shoot up and fill this gap up here, right? Or since we're bearish, in my opinion, going to be bearish. Monday, we still may be bullish, right? But overall, I think we're going to be bearish around the midweek, Wednesday through Friday. This could dip down over, is that a gap I see? That would make sense. 160.58. That's a gap. I don't think that one's going to get filled. We could come down and fill that gap and then shoot up, and that would be the shoulder. You know, and I'm going to change the color on this to gray because I'm unsure until we complete that, right? We had the same setup, but if we do pop down, guys, that's still going to be on the watch list for the following week because that would then be an inverted head. The second it starts to turn around, then that's a confirmed shoulder, right shoulder, inverted head and shoulders. And I would expect us at some point to come up to 181 and fill that gap. Or the inverted head and shoulders could complete right here, just like I said, or it could fail. If it comes down to all the way over here, it's failed. That's not an inverted head and shoulders anymore. If it drops more than 50% of the length right there of the neck, it's failed at that point. Keep that in mind. Now, let's go over to what else am I watching? So Google, I'm trying to see what's going to happen here. Which scenario is going to happen? Keep it on watch and do not forget. DJT, I'm still expecting to go up. Let's just look at it on a higher time frame. Yeah, we're on a daily here. Let's take a look at a weekly. Yeah, it's just in a gigantic, that's just continual selling. But that's all going to end, and there's going to be a run-up for, overall, I'd be at a DJT right like within a week before elections. I don't want to be in that at all. It could pop up. At that point, you're just gambling. If it pops up violently, like if Trump won, then that would be like credit spreads, call credit spreads. It's going to go back down. It's going to go down whether he wins or not. It depends on how hard it's going to go down. If he loses, it's cooked. If he wins, it'll pop up shortly and then dive. But I expect this again to run up and break out of this little down channel. I don't need to draw it for you guys. You guys can see that's trading in a channel, and it's going to pop back up quite a bit into the 20s probably. What else do we have going on here? I still am going to be looking at coin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin over here and what we got going on. Bitcoin's going nuts. But here's the problem. Now that flag broke. I cannot stand all the clutter. I just cannot stand it. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Let's clear this chart up a bit. There we go. We have a 1, 2, 3 reversal, so we'll see what happens. We are breaking out. I want to see this close bullish above. Okay, this closed, but it was a reversal candle. Yeah, that was a hanging man. The other candle just, danced, came back down, hit that trend line right there. But this is a 1, 2, 3 reversal. We may sink back into this. That's totally fine. The flag will just keep building. What I want to see is a higher low, right? Lower low, starting from here. Ready? Lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, higher low. It's that simple, guys. It's simple. So we'll see. Look at that beautiful setup right there. That hand. Oh my gosh. And these little reversal neutral candles down here after the heavy selling. I expect us at some point in the next month to be dancing in this area and clear this flag and be closing up in here. And when that happens, then we could bust out of all-time highs and shoot up to, 80K, 81K, and that will be our new area. Just like gold did, because gold and Bitcoin, since they are rate sensitive, had the same setup, so to speak. Bitcoin does have a cup and handle on it. Look at that on IAU. In fact, let's come back over to TrendSpider. Let's take a look at it on a monthly. Elongate that. Nah, I'm not going to elongate it. Cup and handle. Right, I had drawn this out, waiting for the break. I've been waiting for this since the pandemic. I saw the cup be formed, and I was like, okay, how many years? Is it 2022? And no, it wasn't 2022. It was going to break out of the cup and handle because that was the peak of rate hikes with no end in sight or light at the end of the tunnel. Then we created inverted head and shoulders, and we ripped in anticipation of cuts. Now the cuts are here, and they're only getting started. Am I going to buy gold up here? Hell no. Absolutely not. Look how toppy that RSI is. Every time it was that high, it had a pullback. Over in there, and that's divergence. It had a pullback over in here. It had a pullback. It's all the way up there. I can't buy it up there. I'm not doing it. But we don't know how hard we're going to cut. It's supposed to cut till 2026. I mean, last time we did this, when we went into QE, where was it? Right over in here, right around here. We had stopped hiking interest rates. Then we went into QE. We went for 2007 to February 2008 and dove back and then tore all the way till 2011. That's a good 4 years of running. We ran for 4 years, but there was a pullback first. It did create a flag. I'm going to be holding my gold, I think, long term here with what we're going into and the amount of debt we have and how rate hikes aren't really helping anything. Everything's just getting worse. But that was a nice flag there, and we took off. I'm getting off topic. I love charting and looking at history. Cup and handle, we broke, right? It's a shame I can't pull up Bitcoin on here. I really can't. But on Bitcoin, which everyone's overlooking, and it's the easiest predictable thing, it tells you when it's going up and then when to exit, and no one is interested in it. It is insane. It is insane. What it means is you're not educated. You're not educated in how Bitcoin works in the 4-year cycle. I didn't mean to say not educated like you're dumb if you don't care about it. You can not care about it. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think you should. Like this halving cycle, where was it? May? Kabam! We had another halving cycle right over in here. It already shot up somewhat to create this right part of the cup. With the ETFs, BlackRock, the Bitcoin spot ETFs that they said they'd never approved, but they did. The BlackRock buys, all that. So JFK, Trump talking about adding it to the Federal Reserve to help eliminate some of the debt, which could. We already have countries starting to use it as legal tender and currency. That's already happening, and that's going to have to happen in many other countries in the next 10 years, and they're going to have to use it to save pension funds. You know, you got pension funds in the U.S. investing in Latin America real estate, and then you get them, you know, you get someone in a sinister political party who just seizes it all if you're foreign. You know, and, you know, why not just buy Bitcoin, you know, or buy real estate here in the U.S. in a city that's growing? I don't know who manages these pension funds, but I'm looking at some of the stuff that AT&T and Latin American real estate. Who? And I guarantee the guy was a Harvard grad, you know, $500,000 in education to be an idiot. So anyways, what else? What else was I going to be looking at? I wanted to talk about China. Okay, China. What are the highlights? Let's go over the highlights in the group. Highlights in the group were, let's see here. Let's actually pull this up. Let's talk about some of the highlights this week. All right, let's pull that up. Rob. Let's take a look at Rob in the chat. He did, where is it? Sold MU calls, 292. Bought MU, 83. Rob traded it somewhere in here for, he was in this somewhere. Somewhere in here, he was in MU calls. I can't remember where. But we had Trady King was in MU calls as well, somewhere in here. 720, 154 to 720. Rob nailed it as well. Let's take a look at the winning trades channel. Where is it? Let's see it. MU, $10,000. Not bad. Thanks, Rob. Then we had a JD was one. JD was a banger, right? Look at the ask over here. They sold over $10. I called this at, I was going to call China on the last Sunday night watch list. I had forgot. You know, I was looking, we had a lot of stuff to look at. It's hard to track everything, guys. It's very hard. There's so much going on top of running this group. JD called him for Mark. Did I call it weekly like an idiot? Like all the new people do? Why do you guys always do that? I don't know why you do that for a swing. You'll swing a Friday call. What? You know, or, oh, okay, I'll go out far. I'll do it for the following week. Come on. You know, you got to leave some room to increase the probability of you being right, to give the opportunity of China injecting money in the economy to save it. Which they're not doing that much. I'd love to see $1 trillion, only doing $250 million or something weak like that. I may be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I got to research it more. But I did a March. Now, that's an options contract. That's a play for $268 when JD hadn't moved at all. It had a fantastic TA setup, which we're going to look at here in a moment, for $268. The 32 strike when it was at 29, so very close to the money. JD hit over $40. The stock did. You could have just bought the stock. So imagine being in options for March, right? Now, I could have gotten a fill around 10. Unfortunately, it was right at open. But, yeah, JD exploded. So $2 to basically $268 to $975. Come on, guys. That is an amazing move. So I took all, and it's very dangerous. No one watching this follow this. And I got a call here for January due to China injecting liquidity could go parabolic, but I saw this matching it up with that. This looked fantastic. Let's take a look at Trend Spider and let's take a look at JD. They're all like God candles, you know. When did I chart this? I don't remember ever charting this. I charted this at some point. I don't remember when, but at some point I charted this. No idea when that was. We had this monster God candle, and we're going to end up coming up to this EMA. Looking at the TA, I would not want to be buying calls here. I have a lot of profit, so I snagged one for 2025. I'd like to see a pullback and then a continuation. So let's take a look at BABA. One easy. What the heck is BAB? Taxable municipal bond ETF. Let's take a look at BABA. That chart looks amazing. Look at this down here. Look at the RSI. This is a weekly. Oh my gosh, look at that. Take a look at the RSI. Always chart the RSI from the lows. Let's just test it. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's make it smaller. Let's come over here and bring this up quite a bit. Look at that RSI there. It should really start right there. Doesn't really matter though. But look at that RSI. Ignore this. Check out the RSI. Right? Looking beautiful. Right there, that low was higher than there, and this is pretty much at the same level. And it's way higher and had a violent spike. That's showing something's about to happen. Right over in there would have been it. Right in here would have been a great ad when you saw this trending back up. Oh gosh, right over in here picking up equity would have been fantastic. Or BABX. I'm in that, but I jumped the gun on it. Quiet. My dog's about to start barking. Actually, I did get my money back. I'm in at 27. Or am I? Was it 24? I have to look. It's on SoFi, and I haven't opened that up for a while. Look at that RSI trending up. Beautiful move there. This thing could move to... Where was all-time highs on this? Right over here. It doesn't. If it's leverage, you can't really tell because there's rot and all that. But I've gotten my money back. I should have added to it, but China was looking horrible. An easier, less risky play if we have a pullback would be FXI. Very, very simple. And I think we saw 2008 lows. Right? Yeah. Look at that. That is not good. Right? We saw those 2008 lows right there. Should have been in that when we knew liquidity. They're going to be injecting liquidity back in February. You know, and we could have just rode that until they started this program because we found out about it. I think we found out later though, so we could have bought anywhere up in there. Even if I picked up equity at 26, not a bad investment. Anyways, I'd like to get in China, guys, but I don't think I can because those candles on everything is, I mean, it is parabolic. Look at that right there. Let's take a look at the weekly. Oh my gosh, Pinduoduo. Wow, last week it was 99 and it's... The equity saw 40%. Oh my gosh. You didn't even need options. You could have picked up equity. God, dude, oh, look at it fill the gap perfectly. Look at that. Right there at 138, and it did it. And then it sucked back. It's so hard to watch everything. Give me something else. What else do we got that's China? Neo isn't really. Neo's going. Maybe I could sell some cash secured puts on that. Let's elongate the chart so we can fix this. Oh, man. Pinduoduo was the one. That was the best one. What about Billy? Billy. Oh man, look at the chart on this. This thing in the pandemic, 158. It was just $14, and it's almost up 100%. Let's look at this on the monthly. That's not telling me anything. Let's go to the daily. Oh, I don't know if I can add this here. Come back down, Billy. Wouldn't it be a blessing if this thing would just come back to 16 bucks, right? If we can come down at all, I may add some Billy just because it's cheap. I like the cheaper stocks that used to be high that can run parabolic. Example, Affirm, Upstart, because they can move and move fast, very fast. This would be one to add if I can get this lower. We may be bearish next week, and if we are, I'm going to be eyeing Billy. And I want JD to pull back, and Baba as well. Baba's just shot up so much. Let's take a look on a daily. That probably needs to come back. I'd love this to come back down quite a bit and pick up maybe some better options plays. You don't want to jump the gun because it could stay bearish for a bit after that monster explosion. Look how high RSI is. So let's go over it, guys. SPY, I'm looking for SPY to come down. I'm looking for it to come down next week. And Google, that's all I really got right now. Google, I'm looking for this to really, I don't think that little dip was the right shoulder. I don't. I think that we're going to fill this gap to 160. We're at 162. We could go lower if it fills that. It's failed, but I still think it would bounce up from there. Overall, we all need to be watching, excuse me, Google going into the end of the year. If you guys like this content, so SPY for downside, China possibly for downside. I can't buy upside here. Although I did, but that was with a portion of my winnings here for the end of the year. And I may add to it if it falls. And Google to possibly really form a right shoulder here. So if you guys like this content, make sure to like and follow for more. And you all can join the Discord for free at ztrades.net or in the description to this video.